middle.
So
I was in the middle of playing. I was in the middle of playing D&D Saturday night with my other group that I play in that I don't GM for. That when you were having your meltdown in the chat and I was giggling like a school child at the table.
oh, it was brutal. I couldn't. I was like, oh my God, we're playing like the Browns. What the hell's wrong with these guys?
Sometimes, dude, it's the playoffs. It's, one game at a time. Sometimes things happen. And, sometimes, you play as well as you are.
Well, I was getting a little worried when Detroit wasn't quite keeping the butt whooping happening. I'm like, hello, anytime today, Detroit. And then it's like the third quarter. It was like, all right, we're done toying with our food.
This is what Detroit's a second half team.
This is they are. They have been. I mean, this is what we do. Literally, you keep it close in the first half, and the second half is when you come out and
make your adjustments.
You're done playing with your food.
Yeah. I would be so.
I was like, God, because I could not stand it if Baker would have made it.
Don't worry, no worries.
No. Yeah, it would have been so ugly around here. I would have had to just go, no, we cannot let that happen.
So but Detroit. It should have happened. You guys got lucky. You're not better. San Francisco's not better than Detroit. They're not. I watched that game back yesterday.
Hang on. Before, I will let you continue. I promise you can finish your thought. I just want to throw this out there right now. George, you are not kicking him out because I'm not doing an hour with just you. Proceed.
Thanks. Appreciate that. I watched that game back yesterday while I was prepping food for and cooking. And San Francisco, while talented, is part of a product of the teams that they played and winning advantageously and not skill. Detroit is a tough team. They've played very tough games in tough situations and won. San Francisco is not a better team than Detroit. And you can be rest assured that going into San Francisco this weekend, Dan Campbell is going to have that team ready to go. And they're going to come out and punch San Francisco in the mouth. And I don't think San Francisco is going to be able to take multiple punches right in the mouth and keep going.
Oh, neither is Detroit, because Detroit has no back defense.
They don't need it when they can get right up at middle and drop Purdy on his noggin.
No, they won't be able to do that either.
Yeah, they will.
No, they won't.
You're not going to the Super Bowl.
The problem is both Detroit and San Francisco have no back defense. This is going to be a total shootout.
It won't be a shootout.
It was like, it's a 7-point spread. I'm like, that's going to shrink real fast before Saturday.
It's not going to be a shootout. Detroit wins by 10. San Francisco has their parade.
No.
And goes home crying.
No, not even close. And the over-under, go for over 52. Go for it.
Detroit wins by 10.
Nope, it won't happen. It's going to be last team with the ball.
laughing.
And it will come down to a kicker who will actually make the field goal.
Don't start that.
Oh, I have to, because I've got a couple of Buffalo buddies who are just beside themselves right now.
Kicks go wide right.
I'm 100% happy if Jake Moody wants to take one for the home team, and then when you guys cut him, we kind of need a kicker.
Yeah.
So
I had a buddy my buddy Donnie is a huge Buffalo fan, and when I started wrestling back in 2007, I tagged with him way back. He's been a huge Buffalo fan for forever. Sent me a picture last night of the jersey he was wearing after the game.
It was not a Norwood jersey.
He was wearing his Norwood jersey last night.
Oh, my God. No. No.
Yes.
Oh no.
Love it.
You know, the sad part was as they were lining that up, I'm sitting there going, God, could that be a Norwood incident again? And then it happened, and I went, oh damn. I'm glad I didn't say that out loud. Oh my God. I could not believe it. And
When
I was just beside myself 2 plays before that. You come out of the 2-minute warning and you make a weak attempt at the end zone, and you had Diggs on the drag wide open. He not only gets the first down, but probably goes out of bounds right about the 7-yard line. And you're in literally first and goal. I was like, wow, how did you guys miss that?
Well, when you look at the way that the playoffs started with the 12 teams that started and now the 4 teams that we have left and the possible Super Bowl matchup, the only one that I'm even remotely interested in is either Detroit and Baltimore. And that's it. I don't care to see the Ravens, the Chiefs. I don't want to see the 49ers.
Well, you know the NFL will just eat up having the Chiefs and Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl.
Because Taylor Swift, that's what they want is the promotion.
And it's like, oh God. Really?
Then give me Eminem versus Taylor Swift, and let's see our generation.
That would be awesome.
Then
I'm in for that. I'm up for that.
Give me Eminem.
I would not be mad at that. KC versus Detroit. I would not be mad at that at all. I'm with you. I'm with you 100% on that.
Give me Eminem versus Taylor Swift, and you watch a couple million really pissed off Zennials show up and just show Gen Z how it's done. Every white girl with a Stanley and a Toyota is going to be upset.
I was going to say, Zolt, I actually have somebody take the reels. I have the reels of him coming out of that suite.
I was going to say, if you got a better one, feel free to show it.
I want to say, though, I got the video.
Yeah, I just want to say,
hilarious.
That picture, that needs to be your Madden cover next year.
Yes. Yes. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Come on. I had just come across the reels of him actually climbing out of the suite. And I was like, oh my God, this is great. Come on.
I like how my thumb kind of blends into the background every little bit.
Here you go. With beer in hand.
All right. I need to understand something.
Yeah.
How does that man only have hair on his moves?
I don't know.
It's a good question.
There's hair here and then nothing.
It's a good question. I'm not going to ask him.
I was like, dude just climbs out of the suite, goes and has those random kids down there getting pictures. It's like, oh my God,
that's disturbing.
Well, I mean, even long before he retired. I mean, he's an ambassador for the sport, man. I mean, and if that doesn't show that he still is,
he retired at the end of last year, right?
At the end of this year, when the Eagles got eliminated, he retired.
A week ago, when the Eagles got bounced.
He's always been an ambassador for the NFL, and my God, if he's not, Joe Sixpack at a game.
Has he ever served as the NFLPA president?
Nobody should.
I'm being serious. I'm not trying to be facetious or sarcastic or jokey, but like, if I'm a player, I want that dude representing me. You know what I mean?
Oh, man. There was another reel. I had it. Apparently, I must not have saved it. And it was very cool. I do have it. Okay. Hang on. I do have it. Sweet. This
You
is
had to
cool.
get through the 70 tabs to find it.
No, it wasn't that far back because I found it earlier today. Check this out. What NFL player had these hockey stats?
Tell me what NFL player this hockey stat line belongs to.
Is it a notable NFL player, would you say?
Yes.
Very notable. So from 02 to 06. So I think back here a bit. Which one? Yeah, it was obviously a forward. Unless if it was a D-man.
Obviously, Kelsey.
Who would be the most likely to play hockey? Jason Kelsey's way too big to play hockey. I'll say it. Definitely not an offensive lineman. Those 300-pounders ain't on skates putting in 21 goals a year. This has to be Travis, right?
Incorrect. They're an active player.
Well, active. Can you give me like a position group that I can go off of?
They're a big guy.
Oh, it's a big guy. It's a big guy. I don't know. Tell me the answer. I have no pulse.
Okay, so if you know anything about anything, the Kelsey brothers went to Cleveland Heights, I believe. And there's a classic quote of why Jason became a center and Travis became a tight end. One was because one of them played hockey and the other one played basketball. Jason Kelsey way tougher. He played hockey. This is Jason Kelsey's stat line.
100% correct.
This is Jason Kelsey.
This is Jason Kelsey.
Holy shit. Ohio makes sense.
I need you to tell me what NFL player this
Imagine that just slamming you into the boards.
Oh my God. I was like, dude, that is a big dude.
Can you imagine just seeing him come up over the boards on a line shift?
Remember. I need you to
All I can think is the kids' faces when Dalton from Mighty Ducks came over the boards the first time and did the slap shot.
I mean, look, I am not a big guy. I played hockey. I played defense. So there were guys that stepping in front of that net, and it was my job to either clear the lane or
Hey,
my
5'5" is average, buddy.
my or my second favorite trick was just getting enough leverage to push them in front of the slap shot. But yeah, you see that coming and you're just like, God, this is going to be a long day.
Yeah. You're like, oh, man.
I feel like
It's like when you're playing dodgeball and you just see that ball at the last second and it's coming for your face and you're going, well, this is going to suck. And bam.
I feel like Kelsey, though, was one of those guys that if you were littler than him, he wasn't going to blow you up.
Nah. I mean, he strikes me as just like, hey, look, I'm competitive, but at the same time, you know, there's honor among sportsmen.
Yeah.
It's like the scene from The Blind Side when Orr keeps blowing that kid up. They put that little scrawny kid in and he just kind of like pushes him down and then helps him up. You get a light check into the boards and then shatter 3 panes of glass. He's like, oh, well, all right, my bad.
This is one more. This was real interesting. I believe this one looked like they were taking it from Vegas. And I was like, oh, somebody's kind of peeved.
Well,
Dude, this literally just, I mean, everything just off the bar.
you know, somebody's got to clean that up.
I was like, dude, seriously. You know, now you got the bartender sitting there going, thanks, we have a mess to clean up now. You know, good Lord. And what a waste of beer. Shame. Can't do that. And many of my friends are beer drinkers going, no, that is a full waste of beer. The hell is wrong with him?
I got one to show you too. As soon as I figure out how. There we go.
We've seen that before. We've seen Baker do that before.
Anyway, yeah, sorry. Yeah, sorry.
Hey, so speaking of winter stuff, the captains for the NHL All-Star game got released last night.
Oh, I missed it.
In blue will be Team Matthews, captained by Toronto Maple Leaf center Austin Matthews, with co-captain Morgan Riley. And the celebrity captain for that team will be Justin Bieber. In white is Team McDavid, captained by Edmonton Oilers center Connor McDavid, with co-captain Leon Draisaitl. I can't pronounce that.
I believe it is Draisaitl.
Draisaitl.
I'm close. Yeah.
But Will Arnett is the celebrity captain for that one.
I can handle that.
Okay. Yeah, I'm good with that. Yeah.
In Team Yellow is McKinnon, captained by Colorado Avalanche center Nathan McKinnon, with co-captain Cale Makar, Canadian singer-songwriter Tate McRae, whose recent single "Greedy." That's their celebrity captain. And
I see a picture. I approve.
What's that?
I see a picture. I approve. Yeah.
Okay. In red will be Team Hughes, the co-captains of Quinn Hughes of the Canucks. Yep, yeah. And Jack Hughes of the Devils, with Michael Bublé as their celebrity co-captain.
All right, he's a huge hockey dude.
Yeah.
I mean, for as much grief as the dude gets, I still call him Bubbles. I mean, he is a big hockey nerd. He is. He's a big hockey nerd.
Quinn Hughes and JT Miller were also voted by fans to participate in the skills competition.
Throw that on there. And I know it's kind of hard to see. I don't know if I can blow this up or not. Probably not without breaking everything. I just want, if you can see the picture of Austin Matthews there, doesn't he look just like the picture was taken immediately after they told him Justin Bieber was his guy?
You know who your celebrity co-captain is? It's the Biebs.
I was going to say he almost looks like Levitz.
Yeah. Also, this weekend,
like
the start of the motorsport season starts. The Rolex Daytona 24 Hours of Daytona is this weekend.
They're not getting snow, are they?
No, but I'll be watching part of it. I really enjoy watching that every year. I didn't think I would, but there's several NASCAR stars that are in it. John Hunter Nemechek, Bubba Wallace, and I forget who the third driver is, are doing they're doing the GTR or the GT3 class there at the 24 Hours of Daytona this weekend for Toyota. So there's a lot of good stuff coming up. We got NFL Championship weekend. This weekend, we got 24 Hours of Daytona this weekend. The Royal Rumble is this weekend.
Yeah. I was going to say
which you and Kelly and Bryce are more than welcome to come over Saturday night for the Rumble if you'd like. I
will check the calendar on what we got going down. I will keep you posted, sir.
I'll cook something. Kelly can finally eat since you don't feed her. You got you've got the NHL All-Star weekend next weekend, and the Clash at the Coliseum for NASCAR next weekend, and then the Super Bowl and
then Daytona.
The Daytona 500.
Oh, we got a lot going on.
The
next 4 weeks are really busy.
As far as the 24 hours, I will say this. I don't feel I really jump on racing. I don't I mean, if I'm ragging on racing, it's because I'm trying to get to Bruiser. But
fine.
No, but you do very well in the NASCAR.
It is what it is. Well, I mean, of course, it's numbers. Of course, I do.
Zolt has not been invited back to the fantasy league this year. It is just me in there and me alone, so that I can finally win.
You know, eventually it happens everywhere. I will say this though, whether it's Daytona, I know they do it at Le Mans, the 24, the 24-hour thing. You want to talk about endurance racing? That is just insane to me. The fact that I know they switch out drivers. It's still, that's crazy.
I think you do 3 or 4 hour shifts.
Yeah, I mean, it's just insane.
Yeah, we watched it was the Gran Turismo movie about the video.
How was it?
I thought it was interesting. They were very classy about the crash. They were very careful on how they related to the crash incident.
Yeah.
And
which crash incident?
The one where he killed the fan.
Oh, I mean, that's happened.
Well, the car had taken off and it went up into the stands, and he had killed the fan. So, I mean, they were very cautious in how that got handled. And then after that kind of was like after he made it through the training and everything, and then they went through that race, and they kind of made that like, not like the peak. Well, I guess it would be like the peak point of the movie, and then after that, it was going right into Le Mans. After that, and covered the Le Mans.
If you want to watch,
but I like Ford versus Ferrari better.
Like, if you want to watch racing at its purest, and like, yeah, there's short track racing, there's dirt racing, there's NASCAR, there's all that stuff, right? But if you want to watch the true battle of man versus machine, watch endurance racing. 24-hour Le Mans, 12 hours of Sebring, 12 hours of Atlanta, 24 hours of Daytona. That stuff, I like watching that because not only do I get to see drivers that I know from either present day and other various motorsports disciplines, but I also learn stuff too. Like, they were talking about the prototype cars, the ones that everybody knows is like the really expensive. You look in the cockpit and it looks like a half fighter jet, half submarine. You know, there's just lights and everything everywhere. Last year, and they were trying, they were testing while they were racing an EV motor in those cars that once you came into the pit, your engine shut off and you were under full electric power into the pit and out of the pit. And I think some of that stuff is like amazing to like. To me, I love watching it.
No,
but my favorite pay-per-view of the year is this weekend in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, Bryce and I we caught up with the 24-hour of Le Mans last year.
This past year?
We caught the last...
When NASCAR was there, they put the Project 56 car in it?
We caught like the last 2 hours or something of it.
If you want to watch some cool videos, go look up the Project 56 car or the Garage 56 car from Le Mans this year. And there are videos of the Mulsanne Straight, of that car coming down the Mulsanne Straight, hitting 200 plus. And you hear all of the sports cars going by with that high-pitched B engine, right? And then you just hear as the NASCAR American V8, the loud, aggressive American, just blows past them.
All right, where the hell? That's not what I wanted. I was trying to pull it up.
upload your 3D model. You get the lead time and pricing. Maybe. New Music Kickstart is all in one and done release with a morning jolt of instant cooling sensation.
Get the hell off my head. Come on. All right, I got it. I got it. Damn.
Yeah, that.
All I want to say is this. For some reason, it just pops into my head. Now this is pod racing.
Oh God, I hate you. I hate you so much. It does sound like pod racing. Why?
Oh, because that's exactly what they did use.
Why would you do
that? Just killed Bruiser. You just crushed him.
Zolt, why would you do me dirty like that, man?
I can ruin anything.
Oh my God. Oh my God. That was brutal, Zolt. That was brutal.
That's what you get for not inviting me to the NASCAR thing.
I gotta open that back up here soon. That way I can get Chipper and everybody in.
Oh man. That was wow, that was good. Oh my God. Oh man.
That hurt. That hurt in my soul. This has to mean that Ty Gibbs is whiny Anakin.
That's a good trick.
I did hear, speaking of casting, somebody said that the guy that plays Jack Reacher needs to play Dan Campbell in the Lions biopic.
Oh, Alan Hutchinson or Richardson or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Man.
Are you caught up on Reacher?
I have not even close.
I
saw the first Tom Cruise movie. I thought it was decent. It was decent. I haven't seen anything beyond it. So
dude, the series that Amazon did is amazing. I've never read any of the books.
Okay.
So like my first like intro into it was like the first season of the show. And I was all about it. And then they just finished the second season. And at the beginning of the season, he says to the bad guy, they're on like a phone call, and the guy's like, "What do you want?" And he's like, "To throw you screaming out of a helicopter." And like midway through the last episode, it happens, and Robert Patrick does it perfect.
Okay.
But like the guy who plays Reacher was putting his workout routine up, and I was like, I couldn't do that if I was 25. He's like, I go to the gym for an hour in the morning. I don't spend 4 or 5 hours in the gym. I hit it hard, and I'm done. And I'm like, yeah, but you eat like a house. And he doesn't believe in that either. He's like, I eat normal. Because he was on Rich Eisen's show, and Rich Eisen's like, what do you eat? And he's like, I ate a pepperoni pizza last night. And Rich is like, there's no way you ate a pepperoni pizza. He's like, I put down a whole one. Kids had one, and I had one.
Okay. When was this? When was he on Rich Eisen?
A couple weeks ago.
Okay, so done filming.
Yeah, but he's filming season 3 right now too.
Yeah. All right. I'll let it slide.
He's still ripped. I mean, he's
Yeah.
still like got the. He's a thirst trap for me. Forget the wife.
The Bills signed KJ Hamler.
What?
Why are the Bills signing anybody? They're done
Bills
for the year.
signed KJ Hamler.
The futures
as
contract?
Yep.
Oh, okay. All right. It's
As
futures
one of
contract.
11 players signed to the futures contract.
Yeah, that's fine.
The Panthers have hired Dan Morgan as their GM.
They hired Captain Morgan. Is that what you said?
Oh God, Adam's not here on the show, but I just saw what he put in the group chat, and now I can't unsee it either.
I know. That was.
Oh. Oh God.
Although I
It
do
is-
bring up the faux pas of why the hell are you posting in the group chat and you're not in the show?
Yeah.
It's fine. He brings us gems like Chester Cheetah.
It's wrong. It's just wrong.
Oh. I had one that I was going to post in there earlier, but I realized it was the wrong audience. It was a picture of a hot chick, and it said, "You're on a date with her," and Aragorn shows up and says, "Beacons have been lit. Gondor needs your aid. What are you doing?" And I was like, "Well, I'm going with Aragorn."
The Jags hired former Falcons assistant coach Ryan Nielsen as their new DC.
Okay.
All right.
So when are we getting the Bill Belichick announcement in Atlanta, and when are we going to get
Yeah,
Jim Harbaugh?
I was going to say, they said that was supposed to happen technically.
Yeah.
This week.
And they're continuing second interviews. So Harbaugh, I think, has a second interview with him this week.
With Atlanta?
Somebody else does too. Yeah.
Didn't he interview twice with the Chargers now too?
Yes. Yeah, he's getting a lot of second looks.
Huh.
I still think it's a 75 to 80% chance that he stays.
I agree. I don't know if it's that high. I would definitely put it like 60% or above that he stays. It's just at some point somebody's going to make him an offer that he goes back to the school with, and the school says we just can't.
Yeah.
Well,
Even though
it's
that's
NFL.
good.
I think it's NFL money, but to be honest, I think Jim Harbaugh is an NFL. I don't want to say a flop, but I don't think that he possesses the right attitude to be an extremely successful NFL head coach. He could be a good head coach, but you look at Pete Carroll, right? Pete Carroll went from USC to Seattle, had some successful years, relatively,
Harbaugh finally jumped right into the 49ers coaching spot and took him right into the Super Bowl.
And look at the roster he had.
A lot of good talent.
Exactly.
I said it last week and I've said it before. His coaching style and the NFL doesn't mix well.
You don't need a rah-rah
over
coach.
A period of time. That's the thing, and I'm not knocking it at all. I mean, he could very well keep going at Michigan and be in the history books. It's just, it's very much he's very much if you want to say old school, almost win one for the Gipper kind of thing. Win one for the team. We're doing this for, and
he's the rah-rah coach.
You're exactly right. He is the rah-rah coach, and that only takes you so far with professionals.
I think Pete Carroll could get away with it in Seattle because the attitude of the city allows it.
Yeah, but I mean,
I also think he toned down the rah-rah stuff.
Probably. You're probably right.
And while Jim was in San Francisco, he started off great, and it slowly kind of drifted backwards a little bit.
He turned around. He went right after that to getting the big contract in Michigan. Michigan's like, hey, look,
No, absolutely.
It's like, hey, look, I still think Jim would have done well even staying with San Francisco. The players even said that they liked him; they had no issues.
He's a phenomenal coach. He is. He knows how to
he's
coach.
He's a player's coach.
He is a player's coach. It's just
a player's coach.
His style, I think, rubs some people the wrong way. And in college, you're bringing in exactly who you want to bring in. As opposed to NFL, where you're bringing the guys in that the GM wants to bring in. Again, he wants player control, and that's part of it.
Well, we know that with
the guy that just moved from Washington to Alabama. I'm sorry, dude. You got 1 year to prove your chutzpah, and then if you're not, they're gonna run you out of town on a rail. Because that fan base and that team is used to winning and winning big. And they're not going to put up with 9-3 and at the bottom of the SEC.
Yeah, and I'm going to say this. I'm not knocking DeBoer whatsoever.
No, I'm not either.
I don't know. I really don't know enough about him as a coach to say either way. I will say what this feels like is Saban retired, Alabama panicked, and just be like, who's the top guy that we can actually get? It's like, hey, we can get the guy that just made it to the national championship.
Right.
They could have, a year ago, if this had happened a year ago, they might have been able to get Sarkisian to come back. Because I think that would have been the logical choice to succeed Nick Saban. A lot of the offensive success happened under Sarkisian.
Yeah.
And I think that would have been a logical choice, but I think with what Sark's building in Texas, he's like, I'm good. The thing that kind of miffs me a little bit was how quickly they pulled the trigger in Alabama on him. And I think you're right. I think it was a panicked reaction, but also the stuff that I have read on like Reddit and other college football, message boards and things like that are Alabama fans who are already calling their shot at the national title in the playoff. And I'm like, you guys are out of your minds. And I feel bad for the guy because I think if he could go and be 9-3 at Alabama, right? Or he could be 10-2. You can make a playoff, get bounced in the first round, whatever. You could go 10-2, 10-2, 9-3, still get fired from Alabama, and people are going to call you a failure as a head coach. And that's not fair to that guy because you put him in the position to follow up arguably the greatest college football coach of all time. Better than Bear Bryant, better than Joe Paterno. You put him in that position and it's almost set up to fail.
It's like seriously, you're at a comedy club and you're waiting to go on the stage, and Robin Williams just finished a set.
Yeah,
what the hell are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? Yeah, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Yeah, it's like
or George Carlin.
Yeah.
Or a Jerry Seinfeld or someone like that. Like I legitimately I like Robin Williams. I don't think he was that good of a stand-up comedian.
Okay.
But I get the point. 100% get the point.
Yeah, no, you're not getting up and following.
You're going in to read for a part in this movie, and Willem Dafoe walks out the door.
Yeah, right.
Or
it's like I'm not reading for the same part, right? Yeah.
He can have it.
Thanks.
Deuces.
Thanks for the coffee in the waiting room.
Thanks for the call. Yeah, exactly. Thanks for the coffee and donuts.
But yeah, I don't.
See you next time.
I feel bad for the guy. And look, he could go out there and just totally wreck shop and just continue on with the legacy there. I could be completely wrong. But I think at the first loss to Auburn, people are going to jump all over him that he doesn't understand the rivalry and he doesn't understand what it means to beat, I
think, I hate that, and I really hate that comment, is, we don't understand it. Look, these guys, when you're interviewed for the position, they know the rivalry. Don't give me this crap. They don't know the rivalry. That's all.
George, I
I
understand. No. I understand where you're coming from, but you're wrong.
How?
Nobody who was on the losing side of the Apple Cup went to the other school's town and poisoned trees because of it. People don't divorce over the Egg Bowl loss. People don't get assaulted and beat up over the Civil War. The land grant trophy isn't really a prized possession of great significance in households. Auburn, Alabama, it's that Hatfields and McCoy. It never go like that. Hate never goes away.
Well, I had dated two other ladies before Cal, and it was like the minute I found out that they were Michigan fans, it was like, well, see ya. I'm out.
That's
as a Michigan fan, we appreciate you doing that.
Yeah,
we would hate to see them lower themselves to that standard.
Wow.
Yeah, we appreciate Michigan fans appreciate you not attempting to dilute the gene pool.
That's where I was going. I wasn't going to dilute the Ohio State pool either. Yeah, that's where I was headed with that. Yeah, I was headed there too. Yep, just can't do that.
Okay,
Suds already has the issue under his roof because he's the Michigan State fan and she's the Michigan fan, and it's like, oh Lord, those get ugly.
Boy, I bet you his house was miserable a couple of Mondays ago.
They get bad.
Miserable, sir. What are you talking about? That was glorious.
For the rest of us. She probably wore her maize and blue PJs to bed. And he just slept on a couch.
Okay,
with the dog.
I do want to take like the last segment of the show, and I know we started off screaming about Lions 49ers. And we're going to go back to Lions 49ers, but I want to do this a specific way. I want us first to come up with the reasons why the 49ers are going to win. And then all of us are going to come up with reasons why the Lions are going to win. And I just want to see what we come up with. So why are the 49ers going to win?
Why would the 49ers? Because they have the ball last and have
okay.
I'm serious. I seriously think this game it's going to be all offense. I mean, we've seen it in the past where it's just like guns blazing. Put the Green Bay Cowboys game on. What was it, 70 some points? It's like
hey,
they do. They've got the ball last and they score last.
Love you.
I mean, it'll be an offensive juggernaut. I mean, if you had fantasy, like my brother's got the fantasy, spiel of picking any quarterback, receivers, and everything. I just told him, you just pick that game because it's going to be an offensive shootout. Just go right ahead. Just load it all up. So personally, I think it's because they've got the ball last and they score.
I've got two things. Number one, Christian McCaffrey alone. I mean, the guy is this might sound weird. The guy is Todd Gurley reborn. He can he can win a game, and he's not a quarterback, which is an odd thing. Number 2 is defensive line. The defensive line, that's probably going to be the toughest competition that the Lions have faced at the defensive line so far. And I'm gonna stretch. I mean, in the playoffs, I'm gonna stretch that to your 7. So your defensive line and your linebackers. It's going to be very interesting to see that matchup.
And Debo's injury, he does not have.
He doesn't.
There was no fracture.
They're still calling him 50-50 for now. So we'll see. It's early.
My reasoning for the 49ers winning is because the TV guy said it was going to happen 3 weeks in advance.
The TV guy did say that, although that was a Canadian TV guy.
That was weird. That was weird as all get out. When I saw that, I'm going, what? How in the...
That is my reasoning for the 49ers winner. He's the TV guy.
Where the hell did that come from?
But if you look at it, it lists all of the 8 possible matchups. If you go further, but the first one is 49ers,
of course,
and the Ravens,
because that's right, because the color scheme says so. Yeah,
right. It's the color.
My other favorite.
That's exactly what it is.
That's my other favorite one. Is that the color scheme says so? Whatever.
Now,
I think San Francisco can win because of. I think if they're going to do it, they're going to do it on the back of Purdy.
Okay.
I think Purdy has shown maturity and talent way above his age and ability throughout the season. And he reminds me a little bit of a young Steve Young in a sense. So I think
I can see that. I can see that.
I don't think it's going to be a shootout, but I think if it comes down to either a final possession or a final play, I'd rather put my money on Purdy than Goff.
I think your comparison is right on that, and it took Steve a little while, as they said, to get that monkey off his back. And I think after last year and the injury during the Eagles game, he's got that monkey on his back. So that's a good comparison. I can totally see that.
Now, I want to start off with the Lions.
Sure. What do the Lions need to do to win, or how are they going to win, etc.?
There are 2 things that I think the Lions have that are better than what San Francisco has. And that's Dan Campbell at number 1. He set the standard from the press conference, when he took that job. He said, we're going to be a smash mouth football team. We're going to go out there. We're going to beat them. We're going to punch them in the face, and we're going to keep going. And he built that blue-collar, lunch pail workmanship attitude and attracted those type of guys who know how to gut it out throughout the entire 53-man roster. There's not a prima donna on that team, and I think it's amazing. The other one is I think that the Lions wide receivers are better than San Francisco's. And I don't mean talent-wise, but look at the routes that they run. Look at how they run the routes. They'll make that double move, they'll cut in, and they'll they're taking a turn just a way too sharp. They take that cut on the route, and you think that there's no possible way they're going to make that catch, and they do. And that's a good.
Both those 2 things that you brought up, I want to take them and spin them to one other person, and that's Brad Holmes, the GM, because he was hired at the same time as Campbell, and the two of them, obviously, I cannot remember the last time I've seen a coach GM be this much lockstep together.
It's a great thing.
It's a phenomenal thing. I mean, when you think about where the hell this team was 3 years ago when they got hired, my God.
Just a real quick, we're starting to get that in Cleveland with Stefanski and Barry. They're finally starting to get, together and be yeah.
I mean, it's people act like it's an easy thing. You're hiring a GM who's hiring a coach. You don't necessarily hire a guy that thinks the exact same way you do or is going to use the players that you're getting them in the way that you think they're going to. And at the same time, that's why you hire a coach, is to figure out how best to use players. It's not an easy thing for teams to come across. And the fact that they have, literally, I threw out there a week and a half ago, the Lions COO, the chief of operations, got an interview for a GM position. And it's like, well, that's kind of weird. Isn't that a step down? It's like, for the Lions organization, no, technically it isn't. It's just different position. But the reason they got an interview is because they're the ones that found Brad Holmes, recommended him, and hired him. I mean, that tells you a lot. I mean, if you go through the draft picks since Brad Holmes has been there are so many hits out of just those 3 years that make up this roster.
And very little misses.
Very few misses.
Very few.
And even the misses aren't like
Cleveland's missed on a lot.
But the misses aren't even like catastrophic misses.
No,
they're like
they're all the late picks. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. No, and I'm gonna add one more on top of yours, Dave, is that all of the coaches under Campbell are all very close recent players.
Yes.
And they still know what's in the game and how it needs to be set. You know how it's I'm gonna roll right into it. Hey, the D&D master has set up the game. You know where you're headed. You know what you need. Let's play the game. And these guys are already ready with it, and they're ready to play, and they're ready to go with their guys because they know exactly what they want to do. That really sets a good tone team-wise because everybody has bought into that philosophy with Dan. Every single one of those coaches is all in on that philosophy. And I mean, and to Bruiser with the wide receiver thing, it is because of the receivers that they got. I mean, you got lucky when you could turn around and pull Reynolds and Goff, who have already played with each other over in LA. You've already got two guys who already know each other. And then you add St. Brown to the mix. You're going to add Williams to the mix. Yeah, your receivers should definitely be outstanding. But I think Gibbs, if it comes to late in the game, because you saw it against Tampa Bay, and it's not the first time you've seen Gibbs hit in late in the game, and he catches fire, game over. Good luck. Go ahead, try to stop, because you know what? The offensive line's sitting there going, oh, he's on now. Guess what? We're extra amped up, and yeah, okay. But guess what? We're going to put this hole here, put this hole here, and then we're going to let the kid do his thing. So I don't think that Goff will necessarily.
I've got two more reasons, and they're a little bit superficial. One is it, and one is the Detroit Lions offensive line. That is the embodiment.
Yeah, you're taking one of mine.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
No, go for it. That's fine. I know the team.
That is the embodiment of what Dan Campbell has tried to build there. Zolt ran over the list of injuries that those guys have played with all season, and that is one of the best offensive lines in football. It's plug and play, and everybody knows what they're doing. 2, I think that the Detroit Lions team and the Detroit Lions fan base are hungrier for a win and a Super Bowl appearance than San Francisco's are.
Yeah, San Francisco is going in trying to tie the Steelers for the most wins.
Oh, God.
Like I said, I have no issue seeing Detroit getting there. So they're there, but I don't want to see. I don't want to see them in the Ravens. We had to see it earlier. I want to see them in the Chiefs, and it would be a good game because Kansas City went, oh, you whooped us in week 1. Well, guess what? We're gonna fight a little harder this time.
We started the season.
That will be a good Super Bowl.
That would be a great story. And I will say this: one of a reason I don't want to play, I'm not overlooking San Francisco. One of the reasons I wouldn't want to play Baltimore is we have a history, including this season, of absolutely stinking it up against running quarterbacks.
And that's all Lamar did.
We are not built for that.
Yeah.
That's
the weakest part.
Yes,
unfortunately.
absolutely.
That linebacking core is just. It's like, boy, you guys pull in some solid linebackers going in for next year. You know that defense is on a pole.
We definitely need to replace one, especially with the linebackers. We definitely need some help in the secondary. I mean, that's obvious all day long. I will say, between what we said for the two teams, San Francisco defensive line, Detroit offensive line, that's going to be the fight. I mean, that's literally going to be the battle, and it's going to be: does San Francisco get pressure with bringing just 4? Do they have to bring a 5th? Can Detroit counter that? It will be very interesting to watch. Goff, seriously.
Goff moves, he ends up getting sacked.
But which Goff shows up? Does the talented Goff that we saw through the middle part of the season show up, or does the interception machine show up?
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
And I'm knocking on wood right now. Lions have 0 turnovers in these playoffs. Number 2, NFL playoff leader in completion percentage, Jared Goff.
Yeah.
At 74%.
It goes back to my point about your wide receivers.
But we've also seen Goff going under pressure, and
that's the thing. When he's in rhythm, he's the hottest ticket around right now. So the question is going to be, can we maintain that rhythm? Can we keep him, I don't say off the turf, because you're not going to keep him off the turf all the time, but can we manage it? Can you manage when San Fran brings the pressure?
And has Goff can Goff get past his own, getting out of his own head, like he did when he was in the Super Bowl before, and he got into his own head, and he was like, oh, and it's like, no, dude, you can't do that. Just let the game come to you. Just play your game. Don't overthink it. I think if Goff doesn't overthink it and manages the game well, Detroit would have no issue.
Yeah, and I will say this: as much as I rip on the Lions secondary, I will say between the secondary and the linebackers, one thing they are very good at, and that's covering the out to the flats. So example, when CMC runs out to the flat and catches that screen, we are very good at covering that. Granted, we haven't faced CMC doing it. But again, that's certainly a strength for San Francisco and something that we do, that we cover very well. So I'm curious to see how that goes. And as far as like a traditional running game, I know we're good at. We're one of the best in the league at stopping a traditional run game. It's when the other stuff happens. So I'm very curious how this is going to go. I'm curious to see if Debo plays. Again, they're saying 50-50. Something tells me that means he's playing.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, if Frank Ragnow finished that damn game. Sprained knee, sprained ankle.
The Lions center, though? What was that?
That's Frank Ragnow, the Lions center. He he sprained his knee and sprained his ankle in the first half. I think they said he sat out 2 plays. Came back in, finished. Not only did he finish late in the game, trying to get a first down, they ran up his back, and he is taking on Vita Vey at the defensive line. And just, I'm not saying he steamrolled him, but they ran right through him.
Let's talk about.
I mean, again, Frank Ragnow's the guy who fractured his throat and finished the damn game.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
And literally his quote when he was asked about his injuries, I'm not going to spend the time to look it up, but it was along the lines of, I'm not going to be the guy sitting there getting paid to not play. He's an offensive lineman that I think damn near anybody would want on their team.
Well, let's take 2 seconds to cover the other game, the AFC game. I mean, the Chiefs basically do get away with murder because the Bills exploded on themselves.
Right.
But I don't think that they can go into Baltimore and pull off the same thing. I mean, if they did, more power to you. But I mean, that defense is still suspect. And, you know, they let Josh Allen run up their backside. And if you don't think that you're not going to be able to stop Josh Allen, you sure aren't stopping Lamar.
All right.
You know?
We're past 10 o'clock. Let's make our picks.
We're going to do picks. Okay, start Chiefs-Ravens. That's the 3 o'clock game. Ravens favored by 3.5 at home.
Only 3.5?
Only 3.5. The number is 44.5. Might want to check the weather forecast because that feels low.
As far as I know, it is only rain. It's only supposed to be rain this weekend. I will get a confirmation. Get out of here. I'll get a confirmation real quick.
I will say this. A quarter of the way through the season, I looked around and I said, you know what? I think Ravens are taking this conference, and I'm sticking with it. So Ravens over Chiefs for me.
I'm going to take the Ravens by 7.
What's that in the distance? It's a much bigger superstar that hasn't been around in a
George is contacting the National Weather Service to see exactly what they can expect.
What's that?
I said George is contacting the National Weather Service to see exactly what can be expected for that game.
I'm sorry. I'm caught in between this and the fact that Cody Rhodes and CM Punk are in a promo battle in the middle of Raw right now. And I love watching those two talk.
That's a good bet. Saturday is 56 degrees and Sunday's 49, and it is nothing but rain. And a good 60%. It will be a very wet football.
Give me the Ravens.
Football. So if
Run that ball.
Yeah, but Baltimore running back wise,
it's Lamar.
I mean, you're going to sit there. You're going to line up 8 or 9 in the box.
Yeah,
and Lamar is not going to be able to get anywhere.
I mean, don't forget though, you've got the return of Mark Andrews.
Is it official?
It's not, but they brought him back on the roster last week. I have to believe he's ready to go this week.
It's supposed to be raining. I don't know. The Ravens line doesn't stop the run well.
Yeah, they haven't played Kansas City.
Well, and Pacheco is going out of his mind. Oh,
that's all right. That's all right. Take the
I'll
shot.
take the Chiefs. I'll take the Chiefs in the rain. I'll take the Chiefs in the rain. That's going to be. I think the weather's going to be that miserable. I'll take the Chiefs in the rain on that.
I will say I was mildly disappointed when the Chiefs won for no other reason than it eliminated the possibility of Lions Bills, which would have meant no matter what, somebody's winning the Super Bowl for the first time.
Yeah, I'd have rather have seen that.
True. Yeah. Yeah. That would have been great. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been great. That would have been awesome.
All right. And the main event at 6:30 on Sunday, Lions at 49ers.
Yeah.
49ers favored by a touchdown. And your number is 51.
See, I thought it was gonna be high.
CMC tears his Achilles.
Oh,
No,
you're lucky
sir.
Adam's not here.
Sir,
You're lucky Adam's not here.
it's just going to be a simple thigh pad tackle. That's all it is. Simple thigh pad tackle, just like on Tyler Higbee. Perfectly legal. Everything's good.
Perfectly legal.
Perfectly legal.
I will take the Lions. And I know I said by 10 earlier. And that was partially just to rob Georgia.
Yes, of course.
San
I
Fran
think the Lions by 7 for sure.
San Fran's a nice balmy 65 degrees.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't even
And
going to ask. I wasn't even going to ask.
Yeah, I'm going 49ers just at the end of the game. It's whatever I field goal or they need the 1 point for the. I think it's still only a 1 point win. I don't think it's going to be anywhere larger.
If it's legit that close of a game, if it really comes down to last possession.
And like I said, and I won't be. Listen, I'm not going to be mad about it if the Lions win because, I want to see somebody new in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
I don't.
Somebody new.
No. But you first you will melt down like a 4-year-old who just got told he can't have a snack after he refused dinner.
Oh no!
Then
I couldn't handle losing to Green Bay. That would have just been. I would not have been here. I would have not been on the podcast tonight.
And then
I would have to hide in shame because of the disgust of how the hell they played. Now that they'll play a real team,
you will then congratulate Zolt and be happy. But I am here. I am here for the George temper tantrums. Like that's why I show up.
Okay. All season long, I said Baltimore was going to win the AFC. Or at least most of the season long. Most of the season long or all season long, however you want to look at it. I've been saying that the Detroit Lions are just good enough to lose in the NFC Championship game. I actually do think, George, you are right. It's going to be a 1-score game. I don't know if that means last possession wins. But when Jake Moody does miss that kick wide left,
like
and the Lions,
like he did in Cleveland, yeah. Go ahead. Yeah, I can take it like he did in Cleveland. That I almost drove down to the stadium to go beat his ass. Yeah,
give me the Lions, but sure as hell, give me 7 points because I think we're going to keep this close because that's our style. I mean, if it starts to get out of hand, I don't know that we can come back from that. I'm sure the firepower is there, but the defense isn't going to be there to just suddenly, stop. No, we're not built for that. I will say this as a Lion fan, this was not supposed to be the year. Next year was supposed to be the year because we have holes and we know we have holes, but we are really close.
Hey, Michigan wasn't supposed to win it last year, and they didn't.
And they didn't.
But they won it. They won it this year.
That's
they were
exactly
a year.
it.
They were a year ahead.
I think whatever happens on Sunday with Detroit and San Francisco, I think the Lions know exactly what the needs are, and I'm really looking forward to the next couple of years.
Even if Detroit loses on Sunday, I think that the contract extension for Dan Campbell gets put on his desk at 8:01 a.m. on Monday morning.
And Brad Holmes. I mean,
and Brad Holmes.
Both of them, absolutely.
And I would try to keep the coaching staff together as much as you can.
As much as you can. I mean, obviously, guys need to go make names for themselves. I totally get that. Opportunity knocks, and it's only going to knock so many times. Totally get that. I really do hope they keep the guys together. Ben Johnson and Aaron Gillen.
I like the coaching staff. Yeah,
I do too.
I was very excited about that.
I will say this. If we lose Aaron Glenn, I can tell you right now, Kelvin Shepard's ready to step right in. He's the guy. If we lose Ben Johnson, I don't know who steps right in.
Let's not go there. Let's keep
the problem is I think that's who we have a higher probability of losing is Ben Johnson rather than Aaron Glenn.
I hope they keep him.
Yeah, I agree.
I still think it's kind of like, remember when Ben told the bus, it's like, hey, give me one more shot.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, if they don't make it, it's like the first. If I'm Dan, I'm going, hey, let's go one more time. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly,
let's go one more time.
That's what Ben Johnson did last year. Is he told teams, "I'm coming back because I think we have something here, and I want to give it one more year to see what happens." You can only tell teams that so many times.
Yeah, but I mean,
well, he's young enough. He'll get his shot. He will get his shot somewhere.
I mean, that's kind of the NFL's new thing is, hey, let's get all the new young guys.
Yeah.
Look how that worked out for Josh Daniels.
I got a text from a former coworker earlier this afternoon who has, hey, how's it going there in Detroit? I'm like, you guys are doing really well. I'm like, yeah, we better lose soon or we're not going to have a city left. But it is insane. It is crazy, and nobody quite believes it yet. So we'll see. It will be a fun Sunday. It'll be a very fun Sunday.
I totally agree. Like I said, I think everybody's really excited for the NFC game versus the AFC. I think that NFC Championship game will get a lot more ratings.
Yeah, I mean, there's matchups we want to see. There's matchups we don't want to see. The thing is, I don't see a matchup in here that you're just going to be like, I don't want to watch this. No, I mean, they're going to be compelling matchups one way or the other.
I mean, seriously, could you have imagined if it was San Fran and Tampa? Ew.
Yeah.
I mean, or how many times can you see Green Bay and Detroit?
Hey, I would have loved to have seen an NFC Championship game in Detroit against Green Bay. I would have loved to have seen that. You know how loud that building would have gotten.
This is true. But see, only in the Midwest would that have been exciting. For the rest of America, they would have been like, okay, whatever. We'll wait and see who's playing the Super Bowl.
Just got to let people know, this is the future, people. Pay attention. I will say this. Detroit's game against Tampa Bay, 40.4 million viewers. I have not heard the decibel count yet because that was a big thing after the first playoff game. Because Ford Field was the fourth loudest game in NFL history at 133 decibels. So we'll see. I haven't seen those yet for this past game. But end the damn show, George.
Catch on the flip side, people.